The big story in Action News is the fear and chaos as an apparent ICE operation unfolded near a South Jersey school bus stop.
4th and 5th grade students running.
If it's your first time here, please hit that subscribe button.
From the presence of ICE agents, children scattered in different directions. One child yelling in Spanish, ICE is there. The kids are still wearing their backpacks.
It set off what school district officials called, quote, significant fear and confusion for kids in the area.
I just said, I need to run. They could maybe come after us, trying to find their parents. I was gagging. I almost threw up. I feel like they're just gonna come out of nowhere and take my parents.
Hi again, everyone. It's really hard to watch, right? That's what's being done in all of our names as Americans right now to kids. It's now 5 o'clock in New York, the massive backlash against the brutal.
It is bad to think that that's what's happening to kids, but I mean, MAGA hates kids. Don't forget, MAGA is a group of people who thinks that what happened on Epstein Island is perfectly A-okay. Like Megyn Kelly saying, oh, well, they're just barely legal. 14 is all right, right? Play ball. And Donald Trump saying, 13 is the limit on the Howard Stern show. These are the types of people that MAGA is. MAGA is a Nazi organization that supports pedophiles. There's, at this point, if you were wearing that red hat, you're complicit in the crimes against children. The fact that ICE is tear gas bombing schools shouldn't surprise anybody. They have no respect for childhood. Childhood isn't something that's sacred. The bond between mother and child isn't sacred in the eyes of MAGA. They hate women. They despise them. Like if you're a woman in America right now and you think that if God forbid, if you have a child in America right now, you have to just face the facts that your government is run by chomos and this chomocracy is totally all right with buying and selling your children to billionaires. Perfectly all in on it. If your child ends up destitute because you meet your untimely demise, well, if you live in certain states, it's perfectly acceptable for your 13-year-old now to go work at a slaughterhouse. Totally okay in America now. Most states now find that to be just fine. America is not a safe place for children. And then they tell you, they wonder, how come Americans aren't having kids anymore? Why aren't all these Zoomers having sex and getting some teenagers pregnant? How come it ain't happening? Shit. You bring a child into this shit show? Into this slaughterhouse? That's what you want to have kids in America? We're okay with buying and selling children in America. And don't even get me started about Gaza. Gaza? Yes, they were. Shit, don't even get me started about all the little kids that they got killed with American bombs. American bombs. We love sending American bombs to other countries so they can bomb children. We love that shit, man. This is the American way of life now. I love that there's someone on the news going, yeah, wasn't that hard to watch? Oh, that's what's being done in your name. What's being done in your name? What's being done in your name? Kids are allowed to work, you dumbass. That's always been that way. Actually, no. Sarah Huckabee Sanders in Arkansas was the first one to sign a law because they found out that so many places were breaking it, that it was against the law for people to be working in slaughterhouses, children. There was some loopholes for children to work in agriculture because agriculture used to be family, like agrarian, and hey, if your kid wants to work on the farm, that's okay. That's not how it works anymore. These farms are corporations now. We don't have these little family farms. It's all fucking bullshit. That's all propaganda, dude. That doesn't exist anymore. 99.9% is the factory farm. If you want to say that all farming is factory farming, you are perfectly within your right to do so because 99.9% is factory farming. And children are not allowed to work in those scenarios, except in most states. Most states it's okay. It used to be not, but they had to pass because they had to make it so that slaughterhouses are now agriculture so that little kids can work there. Don't worry, they're just brown kids. Don't worry.
Waged by ICE against kids. It's a direct result of people witnessing with their own eyes and many times taking out a phone incidents like this. Little kids, children, sent running in fear and clearly traumatized by what they're experiencing. In this instance, whether we're waiting for the school bus. And people witnessing that are saying enough. That little boy we just showed you, his name is Dylan. He's
Whoever just asked me where am I getting these facts, I do a fucking news show every morning, moron. If you don't think I'm telling the truth, fact check me. Jesus Christ, you stupid magtards. Question your president. You could question me too, but I'm not an authority figure, all right? You should be fact checking everything I say. Just, as an anarchist calisthenics, you should be fact checking people all the time. If somebody says some shit, fact check it. Well, where'd you get that fact? We have AI now. Literally, ask ChatGPT, take a screenshot. You could even take a screenshot of me talking right now and ask them to analyze whether or not I'm telling the truth, and they can tell you, well, sort of or not, yes or no, any of those things. Please, fact check away. But first, maybe fact check your president. Lying sack of shit that all of you are lining up for, selling out your country for a fucking hat. At least Judas got 30 pieces of silver and had the fucking honor to hang himself afterwards. All of you magtards, all you guys did was sell out this country for a fucking hat. And I can't wait to see all of you dangling from the ends of ropes, because that's eventually what always happens to you assholes. Or you turn tail and pretend like, oh, I never voted for that guy, not me. Just like all the Nazis, they're all, I wasn't me. I didn't vote. I don't know how Hitler got elected. I have no idea. I mean, it wasn't me.
one of the kids who were caught on camera running after ICE agents were spotted near his bus stop on Thursday morning. It happened in Lindenwold, New Jersey. The Department of Homeland Security says the agents were theirs and they were engaged in a, quote.
So you're saying use ChatGPT. I'm saying it's easy now to fact check people. It's easy to fact check people these days. Do it. You don't have to use whatever you want. Use whatever you want. Fact check. Question authority. Be a critical thinker. Question anyone. If anyone says anything with a great deal of certitude, it's the same thing like Noam Chomsky, famously in the Epstein files. I hate to quote him, but he was smart. He said, that if anybody says something with a great degree of certainty, that you should then raise your level of incredulity. That as someone raises their level of certainty and confidence, you should raise your level of incredulity and disbelief, because otherwise you've evolved to believe the confident man. This is why you have con men like Donald Trump. He says things with a lot of confidence, and you believe him. Well, there's some evidence that says, well, human beings have evolved to be that way. Now your intellect has to kick in and say, wait a second, I heard a lot of confidence. That means you're probably lying. So go ahead, question everything. Question anyone, especially those people in authority. Overall, please. Someone's asking about Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky was in the fucking Epstein files. He spent a lot of time at the Zorro Ranch. We're not really sure, but to me, if you have one of 3 degrees of separate, if you knew a guy who knew a guy that was in Epstein Island or anywhere who knew Epstein, off with your head. I'm out of it. Hang him. If you're 3 degrees of separation from Jeffrey Epstein, if you spent 1 hour at lunch with Jeffrey Epstein, I don't know how people aren't more on board with this idea.
Targeted enforcement action, end quote. They were there to
Wood
arrest someone. They
chipper.
said had a criminal record, and they left without completing the arrest, they say. If you're feeling heartbroken and furious about the collateral damage, if you will, terrified kids, know that you're not alone. The very next day, members of the community came out in force to protest the presence of ICE terrifying kids near their kids' bus stop. Take a listen to Joseph Zobel, a school counselor and coach.
I've never protested before in my entire life, but
yes, love this idea. The whole government? Yeah, because we're in a chomocracy at this point. I don't know if you guys all grew up with Nintendo, the NES. I'm not talking about your SNES or your GameCube. I'm not talking about the Sega. I'm not talking about the Genesis. I'm not talking about the PlayStation. I'm not talking about the Xbox or any of these newfangled machines. I'm talking about the gray box, baby. The gray box, the one that came with the little plastic robot that everyone threw away, but I thought he was cool. I thought the little robot was cool. I'm talking about NES, baby. The little gray box. You gotta take it out. You gotta blow in the stupid cartridge. You gotta flick it. You gotta flick the cartridge. And you gotta put it in, push it down, hit the power button. If that didn't work, what'd you hit? What'd you hit when it didn't work? What'd you hit? You had a second button right there. That second button was the reset button. Nuclear option, reset button. Hit that reset button. I think we gotta hit that reset button on America. That's what we gotta do. Hit it. Hit it, flick it, blow it. We already tried. We already tried flicking and blowing. Hit that reset button. Keep hitting it until we get something good.
I watched 4th and 5th grade kids run away from our own government. I never want to see that again. And I'm not going to stand by and watch my neighbors run away scared. It's not Camden County. It's not New Jersey. It's not the United States. I love the United States. I love New Jersey. I love Camden County. I love New Orleans too. But that's not what we are. It's not who we are. And I decided I was going to come out here and stay with you guys and be part of this. Because I never want to see a child ever run away from our own government ever again. Sorry about getting emotional.
As we've been reporting here over the last few days, weeks, and months, poll after poll after poll shows that more and more Americans witness ICE's tactics, that more and more Americans oppose ICE and Trump and the mass deportation policies. A new YouGov poll finds just 34% of all Americans approve of Donald Trump's mass deportation raids in major cities. Even in red states like Texas and Missouri, a protest movement has risen in opposition to ICE. Protesters have been showing up to try to block the construction of new ICE detention centers in their communities. That's happening all.
I love the fact that someone like this Gilbert Johnson guy will say, if this guy or his minions ever had power, this is true mental illness live. Have you heard of Donald Trump? Where have you been? Have you seen Donald Trump wax poetic about Arnold Palmer's schlong in front of women and children? Have you seen him say to the camera that these people, that Putin and Zelensky don't know what the fuck they're doing? The guy curses to cameras. He's the president of the United States. Have you heard about Donald Trump and how he told Howard Stern that his cutoff is 13 years old and that he likes breaking into teenagers' dressing rooms to look at their naked bodies? Have you heard of Donald Trump?